We're back. It's another episode of Different Kind of Genius. I'm your host, André Kufé. Big shout out to all our sponsors once again for holding us down. We wouldn't have achieved anything if it wasn't for you guys, and we're so thankful. And they'll be popping up everywhere and that. But back to business as usual. It's always someone special, but this is a man that I've seen really spinning around a complete 360, and he deserves to be sitting in the chair he is today. So with me today is Luke Anderson. How are you, my brother?
I'm great. Real good now.
Bro, thank you so much for pulling up. Like everybody here knows, I've been sick as a dog for a little while, and you were the unfortunate one that got the brunt of that and with all the reshuffling, but I'm so happy that we could finally make this happen.
It is what it is, mate. We're here now, so all good.
It's real life, isn't it, bro?
Mm-hmm.
So let's get into it. I know what a man like Luke does, but tell the people, what do you get up to?
A fair bit. So my day job, I suppose you'd say, is I'm an electrician. I'm 33% owner in an electrical contracting company. Got a couple of business partners, obviously. I'll also do a little bit of speaking, a couple of paid speaking gigs here and there. And then outside of my regular working hours, I'm working on building a social enterprise. So it's like a company that helps the community, essentially. And also play footy.
Who do you play footy for?
South Barwon. Just gone down to South Barwon. I try to play footy, but I'm a little bit fat at the moment, but we'll get there.
Oh, bro, it's real life. And then that's AFL football, yeah?
Yeah. I just, with starting the business and all that recently, I sort of had less time to eat healthily and a lot more time sitting down with people trying to figure out business workings and whatever else. So that seems to just happen in a cafe more often than not. And comfort food's a hell of a thing.
Bro, and it's one of those things you just try and eat food wherever you can with everything that's going on around you. You're like, if I miss this meal, I'm not going to get one for a little while, so I might as well eat it.
Mm-hmm.
But you said you were starting a business in terms of like the social side of things. Really break that down a bit more, because what does that even mean?
Yeah, so a social enterprise is it's a company that it commits at least 50% of its profits to helping out the community in some way, shape or form. So you've got to have it defined. For me, it's going to be for people that have been affected by the correction system, or people that, if I can go a little bit more broader focus, just people with like mental health issues that have got hurdles to sort of traditional employment avenues, which sort of where I personally might have found difficulties in the past. Yeah.
And it's important because both of those areas are two pretty neglected areas in society. Like, they're not the areas that people want to talk about, let alone contribute to, let alone really help. But what inspired you to want to do that?
There's a big long story to it, but to sort of cut a long story short, for the start of this is just I spent just shy of 3 years in jail, and then sort of meeting a lot of people, going through there. I saw a lot of things and a lot of commonalities, I suppose, that people inside correction system have, and a whole lot of that is that they're provided particular resources, like, I suppose financial to a certain extent, probably not sufficient. They're given food or a warm place to sleep or whatever, but then once they come out, they can't, they're not really given the resources or the avenues or the mentorship to be able to live a happy and healthy life once they leave. So they're just going through this recurring cycle, and I want to be part of the puzzle to sort of figure it out and just do something, I suppose.
Just something.
Yeah.
And that's real too. Like, that whole process, I haven't experienced it, so I can only imagine, but spending 3 years away and then literally getting kicked out of that routine and structure and back into the real world, feel like you'd be very overwhelmed in what do I do now?
Oh yeah. I was fortunate in the sense that I got a missus.
Did you have her that whole time?
Yeah, had her that whole time. That was a big part of my journey. Like, a lot of things that just our communication throughout the whole thing, and doing a bit of counselling in there. That was a huge part of my journey. But a lot of these boys and girls, they all they don't necessarily have those supports, and they kind of find that support in other people that are in exactly the same situation because they've got a level of understanding. But then like, once you leave jail, you don't have that anymore, or all your mates might still be in jail, or they might be back on the gear, even though you don't want to get back on the gear. That they're still doing the same old thing. So then it's like, where do I go? What do I do? And then eventually the black dog's going to fucking grab a hold of you, and then you become susceptible to making poor decisions and just get back on the fucking hamster wheel.
Literally. So what do you think stopped you from falling back into that pathway?
I was real tired of not feeling anything. That was
You mean like emotionally and just the whole capacity of that?
Yeah. For a long time, like I just, like I said, I kind of felt like I didn't feel anything because I had to feel that way. And I had one particular moment, like it was in the holding cells where...
Just quickly give people an example of what that is.
Oh, so like, when you first get arrested, between going to the assessment prison, where you then allocated to whatever prison you're going to be staying at while on remand, or if you're sentenced, whatever prison you're going to from there, you're just holding the police cells locally. So, I got arrested, and the coppers said to me, like, oh, you've been charged with trafficking a large commercial quantity of ecstasy, and cocaine. And I just had no response to it. Like, I just stared at him and I was just like, yeah, okay, cool. Like, business as usual. That's just, it is what it is, you know? And then in the police cells, it would have been like 4 or 5 days in, I got moved up to the Ballarat police cells, just because they can only keep you there for about 2 weeks before they have to ship you off to the MAP, which is the Melbourne Assessment Prison. But the way they can get around it is if they just move you around to another set of police cells, then the 2 weeks starts again.
So you did 4 weeks?
About 3 in the holding cells, which that had to be some of that. That was probably the hardest time out of all of it. Like, it was just coming off drugs and...
that's their first point of withdrawal almost.
Yeah, it was just shocking. Like, and it was almost like some of the worst stuff happened in the police cells, funnily enough. But I was in there for a few days, and one of the coppers, like that, like I was never rude or anything, because I had that mentality of, like, it's not their fault, it's my fault, I put myself in this situation. I was always taught that, you know, you got to cop it on the chin, yeah. And as a result of that, they were like, look, you've got a whole bunch of letters of support, like, not meant to show you, but I'll let you have a look, sort of a thing. And I was like, fuck yeah. I was like, who would have sent that in? And whatever. I'm sort of thinking, it's like these mates or those mates or whoever the fuck at the time. And it wasn't anyone that I thought it would be. It was
so who did you get them from?
My mum, my missus, which it all seems really obvious to people that grow up in a happy, healthy and loving environment, but I'd become very distant from my family for various reasons. And it was like a hot knife through butter. Like, I read these things, it doesn't matter what you've done, we're here for you, we're going to help you. And it's like I nearly hadn't talked to my mum for a couple of years at this time, and my sister and stuff, and even my nana. Like, I was very distant. And yeah, it just came down on me. Like I don't know the last time that I fucking cried before that, but yeah, it really just stripped me right back. And I remember just like completely feeling helpless and weak, like just like I was like, fuck, what kind of a person doesn't have any kind of response to being told that they said, it carries a maximum term of imprisonment of life, yeah. Which I spoke to the lawyer on the phone at the time, and they're like, but it's unlikely you'll get at least 5 years if you go down for that on the bottom. So like a minimum term to serve before eligible for parole of 5 years, but likely 6 or 7. And I was just like, yeah, okay. And then I started thinking like, fuck, why don't I care? I don't want to not care. I want to have a reason to be fucking stressed about that and to want to not be in that situation, because what a piss poor and pathetic existence. Yeah, that was pretty harsh. That was the moment for me where I was like, nah, not doing this anymore.
So did you want to spin that around?
Did I want to?
Yeah, after that moment where you just like, I want to feel again? Yeah,
I did. There's another moment, like not too long after that, when obviously there's discussions of me being away for who knows how long. My missus is kind of like, I don't know, like I've never been in this situation before. What would that mean for the relationship and whatever else? And I said, like, I'm committed that to her, that if she were to stick with me through this, that I had previously been like a lost little boy, didn't know what I was doing or why I was doing it, but if she were to be there for me, I'd come out the other side as the man that she deserves. So that was a big part of the reason that I wanted to turn things around. It gave me a real why. I think I got multiple whys, but that was the one that really got me started. Yeah.
And that was the drive to come out the man that she deserves.
Oh yeah.
That's powerful, bro, and like that's the truth. Like we have discussions like that all the time here, and if an individual doesn't have a why, the direction you can go can be a dangerous one. Like you're literally just doing for the sake of like, you have no idea why, so you're just like, I'm just going to do this, I'm just going to do that, I'm just going to do that. And the more you try all these things, the quicker it is to end up in antisocial situations, and then the rest can become history. But throughout that time, while you were locked up and feeling like that, were you supported in trying to turn your emotions back on?
Yeah, by my partner, I was. That was like, it was real difficult. A big part of like my trauma and stuff is that I've always struggled for like a sense of belonging, and like I'm in prison with blokes where the number one way that you're going to relate with people is just like talking about crime, or this is what I've done. I'm a tough cunt for doing this, or I'm a sick cunt for doing that. But then, like, I'm going, I don't even want to be engaging in those conversations because that's not the person that I want to be anymore. It was constantly challenging because I could go to counselling and you essentially you're making yourself vulnerable, but you got to flick a switch as soon as you walk back out that door. You got to be back on again. Like you don't want to show any weakness because then you could be taken advantage of, or it'll affect like your status in the yard, which I never wanted to be any kind of alpha. Like that was never an option for me. Dangerous position to be in the first place anyway. But
Gee, like there are so many better places.
A lot of tall poppy syndrome, But it was just like, no, the support side of things, as far as like internally within the system, like the counsellors do what they can, but at the same time, you're juggling like environmental factors that
you're never going to be able to get around that. So
And I never thought about that really until now either. Like, it's all good and well going to counselling, but, you know, you can go in there, open up, be vulnerable, and then the minute that 45 minutes to an hour session finishes, you have to come out and, like, you're literally back with the wolves.
yeah,
And, like, everything that you've just learnt and you're trying to practice, it's like you don't even really have the ability to execute because, just as you said, like, you become a victim within that whole situation. That's actually nuts because that's the first time, like, that has clicked in my head. Oh, jeez. So what about when you got out? Did you go and seek that form of therapy to help yourself?
when you do get out, yeah, I'm fairly certain it's for everybody. But yeah, you go through a bit of a screening process to
When you get released?
prior to getting released, so that they can kind of figure out what needs you have. You know, some people they feel might need an alcohol bracelet.
What's
Some
an
people-
alcohol bracelet?
Oh, so like to detect whether you're drinking piss or not.
True.
Or GPS tracking, whatever else. I think most people would have, like most people, and that's only because of their history, but most people have to do some kind of counselling, which I had no choice in the matter. I felt like by the time I did get released, I didn't need it, but I still went ahead with it, A, because I had to, but B, because I was like, just in case, you know, who knows. But once it all finished, then I hadn't proceeded to follow up on it at all, and it's not really been until I suppose the last sort of 3 months that mentally some things I've started to be challenged again, where the whys as to that I'd built, like the situation I built up in my head, or the reasons that I was striving for things started to be challenged.
Interesting.
Like, I couldn't sort of say, I'm doing it for this reason. I'm going to build this like empire or this for these reasons, and then those reasons start to get challenged. So then it's like, all right, maybe I've got to have a think about that again. Yeah.
Which is completely fine as well. Like, that's just redefining your why. And then, like, that just happens over time. Like, you learn and experience different things, you grow in different ways, and from probably when you define your whys up until that point 3 months ago, I'm sure a lot would have changed. But how long have you been out for?
Just over a year.
Just over a year?
Yeah, just over a year.
There was something that you said that was very interesting. But when you came out, why did you feel like you didn't need counselling?
Well, coming from not feeling anything to sort of, I'd never felt like so happy and had so much clarity, and like I had so much of a grasp on who I was as a person and where I wanted to head, and where I'd come from. I felt like I'd made a lot of sense out of my life now, and in that moment I knew exactly what I needed to do and what I wanted to do, and I'm still continuing to do those things. But it's more so that I just thought that there was other things that I maybe didn't need, because I'd identified those as problems, but it's still a part of my fabric, and it's started to catch up with me, but now I can identify it and I can address the issue. So that's a massive strength I've got now.
Bro, and like that's credit to yourself. That's growth. And it's like, and that's a lot of self-awareness to even identify when there is an issue there, and then just to be able to see an issue and then do something about an issue. Like, that's come a long way from not feeling at all. Because I'm sure there would have been times where you just would have been like, nope, fuck that. Like, and it just, that cycle continues to repeat itself, but it carries into every single aspect of your life. Whereas the ability to kick back and just be like, this is actually a problem, this needs to be dealt with before it gets worse. It's powerful, bro, and that, like, through everything you've dealt with, like, that's like, I'm proud of you, bro. Like, that's all I have to say for
Thanks,
that.
man.
Like, that's sick. But nah, that whole process, that would have just sucked. But in that whole time period, you were able to mentally think about gold. And did that also help you with being released? Like you said that one of your purposes was to come out as a new man that your missus enjoyed. What were the other two, what were your other two whys?
I really want to build a family and provide opportunities to my children that I've been deprived of. That to me doesn't mean money. That means just physical and mental safety, essentially, and the ability to sort of help really nurture them into prolific people. Not in any kind. I wouldn't want them to be famous or unless I chose to want to be, but I just wouldn't want them to have to go through any unnecessary hardship. I'd want to be able to expose them to hardships that are still going to build character and resilience, but not some of the things that I've had to be exposed to, or any of my parents have had to be exposed to, or their parents, or intergenerational shit that people just like within my family and the culture that there is existing, just trauma that's continued to be passed on, and I want to be able to stop that for them, shield them from it. And I think that I'm a long way down the track as to achieving that, apart from having not actually had kids yet. So,
But so is that what being mentally and physically safe more or less means to you? Or when you said that, what does that look like for yourself?
Well, to be able to, physically, have healthy eating options, exercise, all those fundamentals, mentally being safe, knowing that they've got the support of a parent, and knowing, sort of not having to ever... It's a really complex thing, the mental side of things, I suppose, and it's hard to articulate. But I just want them to know that I will be there for them, and I want to be able to be a role model for them, as far as what Dad's doing is a fantastic thing, and learn from what I'm doing, not learn to not do the things that I'm doing, or learn how to deal with your emotions by the way that I do it as well. And try not to cause heartache for them, I suppose. Yeah.
That's real shit. Because there are so many people that are not taught that. And if I speak from my own existence there, in terms of emotional regulation, my dad was like, you bottle that shit up and you don't talk about it. And I was like, thank you for teaching me that horrible lesson.
Yeah. It's a real recurring theme for young blokes. It's shocking. And, that sort of ties real hand in hand with my family. It's real, it's just toxic. It's not, it's sad as well, just because it's just passed down. It's what they know, so that's what they're taught, but that doesn't mean that it's necessarily the right thing.
No way.
And I'm the one that's got to change it, so that's it.
But bro, there's everybody says it's be the change you want to see. And if you're influencing your own children, you can't be do this but then be doing that. To them that just makes no sense. You're I'm just going to do what Dad does. And from everything that you shared with, it's that is not how you'd want them to follow you. No way. No, but all that was mad unfortunate, but it shaped you, it's built your character, and it's led to such great things that you are now about to experience. So tell us about more of those great things, 'cause I know you've got a lot in the works.
Yeah. I have just finished the community leadership program, which was run by the City of Greater Geelong. So I've actually got my graduation next Wednesday.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. That'll be up at City Hall. And just got the opportunity to sort of learn a fair bit more about how community programs are are made and funded, and responsibilities of different levels of government, and finding out about a lot of the fantastic volunteer programs that are going on around the community, and learn how to sort of maybe start things myself, or to get involved with community, and how important it is, how under-resourced these people are, and like the amazing things that they're doing with so little money. Like, it's just crazy. And the selflessness of which these people operate, like, it's just real eye-opener. It was great. Absolutely fantastic. Fantastic networking opportunity as well. But yeah, good perspective changer. So yeah, been doing that. Then what else have I been doing? Yeah, bit of speaking. Got the opportunity to speak in front of the Regional Development Victoria for Barwon South West region a few months back. I've spoken down a few times at the Cloverdale Community Centre. I'm about to speak again in front of, like, it's again for Regional Development Victoria, but apparently there's going to be like some state level politicians there and stuff, so I'll hopefully get to have a couple of handy conversations there, and help get my social enterprise off of the ground and start making some ripples, make some changes. So I've got a heck of a lot of stuff on, like, but it's sometimes hard for me to keep track of it, but it's why I've got a diary. So
and you've come, like, bro, that's come in such a long way. Like, you've come from a place where you have conversations with individuals that you don't even want to converse with, because they're just talking about just bullshit. To now all of a sudden you have the opportunity to actually engage in positive conversations that could hopefully make a significant impact in your greater community. It's like, bro, that's a full 360, and then, like, I'll say it again, but it's like, that is some shit to be proud of.
Yeah, that's one thing that I've struggled with a lot, is like, stopping to sort of smell the roses, as they say, and just like, just be proud of yourself, I guess. Like, because I'll just constantly, it doesn't matter what it is, I'll set a goal and then I'll go and achieve it, and then instead of going, yeah, sick, good job, like, it'll be like, all right, what's the next thing? What's the next thing? What's the next thing? I could be doing more. I'm better than this, constantly. But I'm getting better at that. So yeah, it's good to just sort of sit down and have a look back and reflect from time to time. Like, 1 year after I got out, so it was December 13th, I invited a bunch of, like, the closest people to me that I felt like had the biggest impact prior to and post release, and they all came together. I was like, oh, it's a year since he got out, but I actually stood up and I made a speech there, and I said, everyone that's sitting at this table today, like, I want you to sort of reflect with me and have a good understanding that this dinner isn't about me and what I'm doing. It's about letting you guys know that I wouldn't be able to do this if it wasn't for you. So this dinner is about you guys. It's not about me. It's a little bit about me, I understand that, because I'm the common denominator there. But just letting those people know that they're very important to me, and I couldn't keep doing what I'm doing without them, and showing that appreciation, and then taking that time for myself then as well to sort of sit back and reflect and go, shit, look what I've done in 1 year. Like, that's all right.
Man, that's nuts. And as I sit here, I'm just thinking, I'm like, this is some stuff that I definitely should have done once upon in my life. Just thank those people that have got me to this situation. But I guess, like, now's my opportunity. Those of them that know who they are, thank you for helping me get to this opportunity. Without you, I wouldn't be shit. But yeah, like, it's just sick, bro. Like, even the ability to actually, like, again, have that self-recognition to actually go out and thank all those people that support you through that whole time period. And there are so many individuals that I'm sure you know of, that everybody knows of, that go through those situations, and people not forget, but real life gets in the way. So it's actually sort of, you actually have to make the effort to go out and ensure that that person in that hard time receives your support. And, like, you couldn't have thanked them in any better of a way.
Yeah, it was a good one. It's one that I'd, like, I'd like it if more people did it, because I think
What would you call it? Like thank you dinners kind of thing?
yeah, it's like the Luke Anderson version of Thanksgiving, isn't it? Like, there's no other. Yeah, it's like actually like a Thanksgiving thing, like, but just being thankful for all the people around you and what you've done, like what you're all achieving together, and I guess a lot of people sort of might already have that just with like if you've got a happy, healthy family life and that togetherness already, you might already have that. You might already show appreciation enough for friends and family and stuff. But I think that if you feel like that's lacking, it's a real good way of showing that to people. Like it's a real good way.
That's the truth.
Mm.
And snap. And you've got other things in the pipeline as well. But then before I even get to that, you won an award recently. What was that for?
Which one?
Which one? Like, you guide us into that. What have you won?
Most recently, we won an award for. We got Service Seeking, one of the top businesses for 2020 thus far.
Is that for your
for the electrical contracting? So, yeah, that was pretty good. I was pretty proud of that, just because, like, how often does a bloke come out of jail and then 1 year later they're partly responsible for building a company that provides a high level of service to other people. It doesn't really happen so often. And that, the electrical contracting company is super important to me, just because it's going to provide an avenue for me to build resources to be able to help other people and help the community, and to a certain extent it already is, So, it's really important when I see things like that. It's, sort of a badge to pin on the chest. So,
100%, bro.
Yeah. No, that was really good. Real proud of that. What else? I'm trying to think. I've gone a bit blank at the moment.
No, that's completely fair. That's completely fair.
Got too much on. I was on the front of the Northerly Aspects magazine as well, just for what I've been doing with the speaking and mentoring people and stuff. That was a really touching moment as well, just to sort of get a tip of the hat from a magazine within the community to sort of say, you're doing a good thing.
Recognition for all your hard work.
Yeah. No, it's real good. It's the whole reason that you do it. But again, it's that thing where I'm just like, yeah, awesome, thanks, but what am I doing next?
Literally.
I need to get better at sort of going, wow, that's great. I'm proud of that. I'm proud of myself, but I'll get there, I hope.
But then through opportunities through not even opportunity, through awards like that, it helps other people know you're more serious. So when you do go out and have these conversations of this is what I want to do, this is what I want to do, this is what I want to do, like people that are interested in that relevant field may have seen that and they might be even more inclined to help you, which is just sick.
Yeah, it's like a positive snowball effect. Yeah, no, it's good. It's real good.
Bro. But then, I guess something that I've been burning to ask, but this documentary that they're doing, tell me about that.
Yeah, so it's called How to Thrive. It's all about positive psychology. I'm one of a few, there's a few other participants and stuff, and it's about overcoming adversity, which everyone now knows that I've overcome some adversity. Sort of just it focuses a bit on like your experiences growing up, like if you gone through some trauma or whatever it may be, and or some stuff that you might be working through at the moment, and employing positive psychology methods to sort of overcome that and try to keep your emotions in check, and show that there is good methods and ways to manage the hard times and come out the other side and see the world with a different set of goggles on, and just do something about your situation, I suppose.
Bro, positive psychology is so powerful. But what are some of the what are some of the tools that you use in reference to that have helped you get to where you are today?
I think a lot of the tools that I've learnt came from bad experiences, which I know a lot of my drive and ambition comes from a bad place rather than a good place. But I've learnt to harness that for the power of good now. For instance, like that whole mentality of like keep things repressed. A man always cops it on the chin, yeah. That helped me to sort of take ownership for my actions and where I found myself in life and go, right, it's not anybody else's responsibility to do something about my situation. It's entirely my responsibility. If I can get support, then that's a fantastic thing. But it's up to me to go out there and do something about it. And that just comes from, intergenerational shitty advice. But now I can use that as it's given me a hard edge, I suppose. Like made me strong before it made me brittle, I suppose. So like I was too hard, so I was just prone to snapping, So but now, just mentally strong, I'd say. Trying to think of like another example of I always take things on and think about like instead of blaming someone for doing a shitty thing, I thank them for letting me know the real them, because now I know how to manage them. So it's like, all right, everybody gets to fuck me once. I say that all the time. You get to fuck me once, and then I know who you are as a person, and you've shown me your whole hand, but I still haven't shown you my hand. So now I'll know how to work around you. If you're a manipulative piece of shit, or if you're a good person, whatever that may be, at some point they'll show the true them will shine through. And I don't get angry at people if they fuck me over as such. I just I'm thankful that I know who they are, and I'll just go, all right, well, I put myself in that position, and I'm not going to be spiteful towards them. I'm just going to get them out of my life, and that's that.
And keep moving forward.
Yeah, keep moving forward. Yeah.
But you'd rather that than someone who truly feels like that, but then never shows it. And that whole time you've got them around, they're just constantly trying to drag you back down to their level.
That happens very often.
Too often, in fact.
Yeah, they pretend, a lot of people out there that pretend like, oh yeah, it's kind of a good thing, but they're hoping that you trip up at some point because they're jealous or whatever else. I'm good at identifying that as well now, though. So I'm just good at people. People's they're been in jail for 3 years. I was already good with people. I've always been like a bit of a social butterfly. A lot of a social butterfly, I would say.
A lot of a social butterfly.
Maybe the social butterfly. But yeah, like going into jail and just sort of constantly having to think like, what are the consequences of these actions that are greatly exaggerated compared to in the real world? So it helps you to bite your tongue and just go like, it's not worth it. You just got to move away. It's not worth it.
What's an example of that?
What's an example of that? I got there's like a real hairy situation at one point where I was like, oh, fuck me, I'm gonna end up getting a punch on here for whatever fucking reason, and I didn't know what to do. Like I said, I was essentially on my, I got along with a lot of people. I wasn't everybody's favourite, but nobody hated me. I was just don't finish first, don't finish last, don't volunteer. That was what I was doing, So just to try to fade in the background, but ended up having a bit of a stoush with someone, and it got a little bit heated and whatnot. And then I went for advice from one of the older boys that had done a lot of jail and whatnot, and he goes, I know that in the moment right now it seems real hard, but just look at the ground, keep on walking. If they hurl abuse at you, just cop it on the chin. you might feel embarrassed, you might feel like you want to fucking kill this cunt, whatever, but just ignore him and keep going. And at some point, if he is a piece of shit like you're saying he is, he's going to slip up and piss someone else off, and he'll cause dramas for himself. And sure enough, that ended up fucking happening. It happened a couple of times throughout my sentence, you know, where I was just like, oh, this person's fucking me over, whatever, but I just bit my tongue and I kept doing the right thing. I just kept being me and working towards my long-term goals and whatever. And those people fell by the wayside, and it sort of really crystallised and consolidated that mentality. It's just not worth getting drawn into petty bickering at all, ever.
100%. And it's funny how that's a real world problem, but then it also happens in jail.
Yeah,
and as you said, the consequences are so much more significant.
Yeah, you just get fucking bashed or stabbed. So it's like, yeah, I better not.
Like you say that to the wrong person, and it's like, but then same goes actually, now that I say it, in the real world, like, you say it to the wrong person, it's like, that's a consequence that's going to happen. But then just in jail, it's probably 10 to 1. So
it's a lot higher probability of physical harm,
but like, no, well, it's all that is a credit to you. Like, that would be such a difficult time period. Just, as I said, you're copping that abuse, and then in that environment, you can't be seen to be copping that abuse all the time, because then you look like it just opens up more opportunity to being a victim. But if that person's truly just being a fuckwit, like, life will sort them out.
Yep.
And like, you have no control over that other than just to have confidence in yourself to keep moving forward and let life figure that individual out.
Yeah. I still, like, if I saw that bloke walking down the street today, I do not blame him. Like, there's not even a little bit inside of me that blames him for reacting the way that he did, because I understand that he has his own shit going on. You know, things that he's failed to deal with, and there's a lot of reasons as to why a lot of blokes react like that, and it's it's hard for him. It's real hard for him. So it's just, but I've got nothing to gain from being spiteful and talking shit about him or whatever. I'll just keep on going my merry way and go in different directions. That's it.
And bro, it's just a waste of energy. In that time period where your energy's so hard to conserve already, it's like, why am I going to waste it worrying about this, man, when I need to worry about myself?
That's it.
Man, it sounds like it's definitely a place full of lessons, but then you just hope that there's other ways to experience those same lessons without such a daunting experience / environment. Yeah,
and that's what I hope to build for, like, other people, especially, like, I think a lot of stuff's always, like, youth focused, so, like, people always talk about, you know, saving the kids, which is so important, but, like, these kids don't have solid role models majority of the time, and that's what a big part of what I'm trying to. I absolutely want to be youth focused, but I want to be focused on these blokes that are constantly doing, like, 3, 6, 12-month stints in and out because they want somewhere warm to sleep, or they want to hang out with their mates or whatever else. I want to provide opportunity, because a lot of these people have kids as well, and then their kids end up just going through the same cycles too. So I want to provide those opportunities to people to break that intergenerational shit that they're going through, and unintentionally just continue to manifest within their families. I think I got the answers to it, but we'll just wait and see.
Wait and see, we will.
Yeah.
But I think we're at a very interesting time of the day, and I think you led us into that so well. But we have one question that we ask everybody here, and I'm very curious to see what you have to say. But Luke, what's one thing that you wish you were told as a youth?
It's one thing I wish I was told as a youth. That's I'm such a deep thinker, so it's a real difficult one for me. But one thing one thing that I wish that I think I was told it, but I wish it was reiterated to me that it's always that hard times pass. Hard times pass. Yeah, like it's all going to be okay, sort of a thing, because they do. There's always exceptional circumstances where, you know, some people might not pass for them for whatever reasons, but 99% of the time, hard times pass, even though it might feel like they're not gonna. But yeah, hard times do pass. I promise you. Yeah.
That's powerful. And it's like, it's one of the only things we're promised in life, and that's like time and death. And one powerful thing that comes with time is it tends to heal. Like, as long as we give it enough.
Oh yeah.
And we put in the right amount of energy, we make sure we're very careful about what we put out. As long as it's all the right stuff, like, usually those hard times will pass. Except for everything you said, where there's unfortunate individuals that just keep doing what they're doing. And through doing what you're doing, you'll experience the same stuff.
That's it.
And like, that's on them, that's not on you. As long as you're doing whatever you're doing, and it's well-intentioned and you're doing the right shit, good shit will hopefully happen to you. No, but Luke, bro, I'm proud of everything you've done, and I'm excited to see what happens next in the future for you, because I know there's going to be some great things. And it's one of those things where, I don't know what we can do for you, but if there's anything we can do for you, like, please sing out, because we'd be happy to help in any way possible. But tell the people where they can find you.
You can find me on Facebook. I got Instagram about 30 minutes ago.
Yeah, just before we started.
Facebook, give me an ad there, and Instagram pretty much. Luke Anderson, or luke.adam.anderson on Instagram it is now. Should be starting a YouTube channel myself pretty soon, and hopefully get my own personal website and all that stuff, but that's just as the speaking grows. But yeah, otherwise you can just find me cruising around the streets of Geelong, just trying to fix some shit.
And if you want to help him fix some shit, sing out.
Yes, please do. I got plenty to do. So yeah, if anyone ever wants to link up with me, please let me know, because I've got a lot of big plans, but not enough hands.
Word. Like, that's the biggest problem in life, isn't it? I've got great ideas, just not enough money or resources to help me with those ideas.
Yeah.
Like, just keep hustling away, brother. That is all we can do. Do you have anything else that you want to tell the people? No,
I think that I'm just going to let this story tell itself. So just keep watching this space, and if anyone really needs a hand, don't be afraid to fucking shout out to me, because I'll get a lot of people, like, close to me and not so close to me, that I'll talk to them. I'll see them down the street from time to time. I'll say, why didn't you say something was up earlier? And they'll say, oh, you just seem like you're too busy, or it seems like you're doing some very important things. So, like, I wouldn't want you to worry about me, sort of a thing. But I fucking hate that mentality. If you want to have a chat to me for whatever reason, reach out, give me a message, and I'm always happy to sit down and have a coffee with someone.
Word. And even if you don't have enough time for a coffee, like, a phone call goes a mile away.
Oh, mate, if I could have had that a few years back, who knows where I would have ended up. I'm glad I'm here now, but it could be a very powerful thing if you got someone with their head screwed on when you don't necessarily. It's a really important thing. So, yeah. That's
the truth. Keep leading by example, my brother. Yeah. That is all you can do. But snap. I guess that's it for Different Kind of Genius today. Thank you to everybody that's tuned in. Thank you for Luke to coming and sharing your story. Like, it was a powerful one. And I think anyone that can relate to you will hopefully use you as a role model, hopefully reach out to you to just, if they're ever feeling a bit lost, or anyone who's struggling with the same shit you're struggling with. I hope that you continue to help them all. And that is what you will do. But everybody else, stay safe, peace out, one love. Thank you to all our sponsors and that. Liam, do that shit. And Luke, thank you, my brother.
Thanks, mate.